Hi, welcome to the Sleepy Universe. Tonight, I want to take you on a journey into one of the greatest mysteries of existence, the secret code of the cosmos. Imagine for a moment that the universe is not random, not chaotic, but instead guided by hidden patterns, numbers, and rhythms. Patterns that repeat in the spiral of a galaxy, in the growth of a flower, and even in the beating of your heart. This code has been written into everything since the beginning of time. It whispers in the movements of the stars, hides in the balance of nature, and lives quietly inside of you. Once you begin to see it, you can never unsee it, and the world around you will never look the same again. But before we begin, I want to know something from you. From where are you watching this video, and what time is it right now in your city or country? Tell me in the comments below. Patterns are everywhere. When we look at the universe, most of us see chaos. Raindrops fall in no particular order, waves crash and scatter, leaves drop wherever the wind carries them. At first glance, it feels like life is random, a series of accidents with no meaning. But if you look a little closer, if you slow down long enough to notice, something begins to change. The randomness begins to fade, and in its place, you start to see patterns. Think of a seashell resting quietly on the beach. Its spiral is not random. It follows a precise curve, repeating itself in perfect proportion, as though guided by invisible instructions. Consider the snowflake. Each one is unique, yet all are built on the same six-sided design, repeating symmetry so exact it feels almost impossible. Even the branches of a tree, spreading outward in countless directions, follow the same mathematical rules that shape the lightning in the sky and the rivers that carve through the earth. Look deeper, and you'll see the same echoes everywhere. The veins inside your body mirror the roots of plants beneath the soil. The swirling arms of a galaxy are no different in shape from the spiral of a hurricane. The closer you look, the more you realize that nature is copying itself, repeating the same designs again and again, across scales too vast and too small for us to easily notice. These patterns are more than coincidences. They are evidence of something profound. They whisper that the universe is not disorderly, but carefully structured, as if it were written in a hidden language. A language made not of words, but of shapes, spirals, and repetitions that appear in every corner of reality. When you begin to see these patterns, the world transforms. A storm is no longer just a storm, but a reflection of rivers. A seashell is no longer just an ornament of the ocean, but a spiral shaped by the same forces that turn galaxies. Even your own heartbeat begins to feel less like chance and more like a rhythm written by the same universal code. And perhaps the most mysterious truth of all is this: these patterns do not just exist outside of you, they live within you. Your body, your cells, even your DNA are filled with the same repeating instructions that guide stars and storms. The same code that draws the arms of galaxies also shaped the lines of your fingerprints. Patterns are everywhere. They are the first clue that the universe is not random. They are the doorway to a deeper truth. A truth that says everything is connected, everything is part of a design, and everything is whispering the same secret. There is a code behind it all. Numbers as nature's language. If patterns are the shapes of the universe, then numbers are its words. Patterns alone are beautiful, but without numbers, we cannot fully understand their meaning. Numbers are the code breakers, the quiet key that reveals how the cosmos is written. From the beginning of time, humans have noticed that nature seems to count. A flower doesn't place its petals randomly. It often chooses numbers that belong to a very specific sequence. 3, 5, 8, 13. Numbers from what we now call the Fibonacci sequence. Look at a sunflower and you will see its seeds spiral outward, not in chaos, but in perfect mathematical order. Look at a pine cone, a pineapple, or even the horns of a ram, and the same numbers appear again and again. It is as if the universe is obsessed with certain counts, certain rhythms, certain hidden formulas. The same is true on much larger scales. Planets orbit their stars according to precise mathematical rules. Their paths are not random. They follow equations that can predict where they will be millions of years from now. Moons spin around planets, galaxies swirl in spirals, and even invisible particles like electrons move in orbits that obey strict numerical laws. Everywhere we look, numbers quietly rule. And yet, numbers are not just about order. They are about beauty. The golden ratio, a simple proportion found in art, architecture, and design, also exists in seashells, hurricanes, and even in the structure of your face. It is as if nature is constantly repeating the same favorite equation, sculpting beauty with mathematics. Think for a moment about music. Music is simply numbers in motion. A rhythm is nothing more than time divided into repeating counts. A melody is the vibration of air at certain frequencies, numbers vibrating together to form harmony. The very songs that touch our hearts are actually mathematics, translated into sound. Now imagine this on the grandest scale. The universe itself hums with numbers. The spacing of planets, the rhythm of seasons, the heartbeat of stars as they expand and collapse. It is all mathematics. Numbers are not inventions of the human mind. They are discoveries. They are the language the universe has been speaking since the first moment of creation, long before there were ears to hear it or eyes to see it. Even your own body is written in numbers. Your DNA is a code made of 4 letters, repeated billions of times in precise order. Your heartbeat follows a rhythm measured in beats per minute. The neurons in your brain fire in patterns that can be mapped like waves of frequency. You are not separate from the mathematics of the cosmos. You are made of it. What does this mean for us? It means that when we count, when we calculate, when we search for equations, we are not simply playing with symbols. We are tuning into the very language of existence. Numbers are not just tools of science. They are the grammar of reality itself. So when we say the universe has a code, this is what we mean. The spirals, the ratios, the symmetries, all of them can be explained in numbers. And when you realize that the same code appears in flowers, in galaxies, in storms, and in yourself, a deep truth emerges. The universe is not silent. It has been speaking to us all along in the unshakable, eternal language of numbers. Symmetry, nature's favorite trick. If you pause for a moment and really look at the world around you, something astonishing begins to reveal itself. It's in the reflection of your face in a still pond. It's in the fragile wings of a butterfly, the 6-fold arms of a snowflake, and the perfect honeycomb built by bees. It's hidden in seashells, in flowers, in crystals, in galaxies swirling millions of light years away. This secret is called symmetry. At first, symmetry seems simple. One side looks like the other, a mirror image. But the truth is, symmetry is far more than a neat design. It is the quiet language of the cosmos. It is how the universe whispers to us that beneath all the chaos, there is order. Beneath randomness, there is balance. And beneath imperfection, there is a blueprint guiding everything into form. Think about your own body. You have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 arms, 2 legs, each side a reflection of the other. Even inside, your lungs and kidneys sit in pairs, balanced across your body's center. Without this symmetry, life would feel unstable, incomplete. And it's not just about structure. Symmetry is deeply tied to survival. Scientists have found that we humans unconsciously see symmetrical faces as healthier and more attractive. Why? Because symmetry is nature's way of signaling strength, balance, and stability. Now step back and look at snowflakes. No two are alike, but each one grows with 6 perfect arms, branching in balance. This isn't chance. It's the way water molecules lock together, always repeating the same pattern. Bees, without rulers or calculators, build honeycombs in perfect hexagons. Why? Because hexagons are the most efficient shape. No gaps, no wasted space, no wasted energy. Symmetry saves resources, strengthens structures, and sustains life. But the power of symmetry doesn't stop at what we can see. It goes deeper, down to the smallest building blocks of existence. The shape of an atom, the spin of particles, the way forces like gravity and magnetism behave, all follow rules of symmetry. In fact, some of the most important discoveries in physics, from Einstein's theory of relativity to modern quantum mechanics, come from studying symmetry. Physicists often say, if you want to understand the laws of the universe, look for the symmetries. They are the fingerprints of reality. For example, the reason gravity feels the same on a mountain or in the middle of the sea is because space itself has symmetry. The reason energy is conserved, never created or destroyed, only transformed, comes from a hidden symmetry in time. Even the existence of entire particles, like the Higgs boson, was predicted not by seeing them first, but by understanding the symmetry they must belong to. And yet, the story of symmetry has a twist, because sometimes the universe breaks its own balance. Look at matter and antimatter. At the birth of the universe, they were created in perfect pairs. But for reasons we still don't fully understand, matter slightly outnumbered antimatter, breaking the symmetry, allowing stars, planets, and life to exist. If symmetry had remained perfect, everything would have cancelled out, leaving nothing but light. This idea, symmetry and its breaking, is one of the greatest mysteries in science. Why does time seem symmetrical in equations, but in our lives always moves forward? Why do galaxies form in elegant spirals, but also collapse into chaotic clusters? Why does the universe crave balance, yet constantly allow small imperfections? Perhaps it is those very imperfections that give rise to life, to uniqueness, to beauty. A perfectly symmetrical face might look striking, but it is the small, uneven differences that make each person memorable. A flower may bloom with symmetry, but its slightly crooked petal is what makes it real. Maybe the cosmos uses symmetry as a foundation, and then breaks it just enough to create variety, movement, and story. And here's the most fascinating part. Symmetry is not only out there in the stars or in equations. It is inside you, written into your DNA, guiding the way your cells divide and your body grows. The same patterns that shape galaxies also shaped you. When you look in the mirror, you are seeing not just yourself, but the echo of a universal design. So the next time you see butterfly wings open in the sunlight, or snowflakes resting on your hand, or the spiral arms of the Milky Way in the night sky. Remember this: you are not just looking at beauty, you are looking at the secret signature of the cosmos. You are looking at proof that nature loves balance, that the universe builds itself on harmony, and that everything, from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy, carries within it the same hidden code. Symmetry is not an accident. It is the quiet proof that the universe is alive with design, the golden ratio. There is a number in the universe that has fascinated thinkers for thousands of years. A number that appears in seashells, in sunflowers, in hurricanes, in galaxies, and even in the proportions of the human body. This number is known as the golden ratio. Its value is about 1.618, and it may be the closest thing we have to the universe's signature of beauty and harmony. At first, it seems impossible that a single number could matter so much, but when you look closer, you begin to see it everywhere. A sunflower's seeds grow in spirals that follow the golden ratio, ensuring that every seed has the perfect space to grow. A nautilus shell curves outward in a spiral that expands with the golden ratio, keeping its balance no matter how large it becomes. Even hurricanes, with their swirling winds, and galaxies, with their vast arms, spin in spirals that trace this same mysterious proportion. Artists and architects discovered this long ago. The ancient Greeks designed the Parthenon with its proportions guided by the golden ratio. Leonardo da Vinci used it when sketching the Vitruvian Man, showing how the human body follows this hidden order. Renaissance painters wove it into their masterpieces. Even today, designers and architects quietly use it because the golden ratio simply feels right to the human eye. We are drawn to it instinctively, as though we are wired to recognize it. But why? Why does this ratio appear again and again, not just in human art, but in the very structure of nature? Scientists suggest that the golden ratio is efficient. It allows growth to happen in a way that is balanced and sustainable. The spiral of a sunflower ensures that each seed gets the sunlight and rain it needs. The spiral of a galaxy allows billions of stars to move without crashing into one another. The golden ratio is not just beautiful, it is practical. It is the universe's way of building order out of chaos. And yet, the mystery runs deeper. When mathematicians explore the Fibonacci sequence, a simple pattern of numbers where each number is the sum of the two before it, they discover that it naturally leads to the golden ratio. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. As the sequence continues, the ratio between the numbers gets closer and closer to 1.618. It is as if math itself is whispering the same truth that nature displays in seashells and stars. Some believe the golden ratio reveals something fundamental about reality, that beauty is not random but written into the fabric of existence, that harmony is not just a human idea but a universal law. When you see a spiral of seashells or the swirl of a hurricane, or even the proportions of your own body, you are witnessing the golden ratio at work. You are seeing the code that allows life to grow, art to inspire, and the cosmos to hold its shape. And perhaps that is why we find the golden ratio so comforting, so magnetic. It is a reminder that we are not separate from the universe, but made from the same order, shaped by the same patterns, connected to the same code. It is nature's fingerprint, stamped into everything, from the smallest leaf to the grandest galaxy. The golden ratio tells us that beauty is not an accident. It is the mathematics of life itself. the hidden power of pi. Pi. At first glance, pi looks ordinary, just the number 3.14. But pi is not just a number. It is endless. It is infinite. It never repeats and never ends. You could spend your entire life writing its digits, and still, you would never reach the final one. Pi is, in a sense, the most mysterious number humanity has ever discovered. What makes pi so special? It begins with the circle. No matter how big or small, the distance around a circle is always a little more than 3 times its width. That constant, unchanging relationship is pi. It ties every circle in the universe to every other. From the tiniest droplet of water to the largest orbit of a planet, pi is quietly shaping reality. But pi is not just about geometry. It is everywhere. When ripples spread across a pond, the rhythm of their waves is ruled by pi. When planets move in their orbits, their paths whisper pi. The sound of a vibrating guitar string, the swirl of a hurricane, even the light waves streaming from the stars above. All of them are written with pi. And yet, pi is untamable. While the golden ratio repeats as a clear and elegant pattern, pi stretches on into infinity, unpredictable and chaotic. Scientists have calculated trillions of its digits, but there is no ending, no cycle, no hidden repetition. It is as though pi holds within it an infinite library of numbers. Every possible sequence already there, waiting to be read. Some dreamers even suggest that hidden inside pi are the coordinates of galaxies, the patterns of DNA, the words of every book ever written, even the story of your life. To mathematicians, pi is the bridge between order and mystery. It is exact enough to guide rockets to the moon, yet infinite enough to remind us that the universe still keeps its secrets. No matter how advanced our science becomes, pi tells us there will always be something beyond our reach. And this is perhaps why pi is so powerful. It is not just a number we can calculate. It is a symbol. It shows us that the universe is both knowable and unknowable. We can understand its laws, measure its patterns, and yet, at the very heart of those patterns lies infinity. Think about it. Every circle you see, the sun in the sky, the rings of Saturn, the pupil of your eye, is a doorway into the infinite. Pi is written into all of them, reminding us that no matter how small or ordinary something may seem, it is connected to something endless. The ancients sensed this mystery. Pi appears in the architecture of pyramids, in the rhythms of ancient astronomy, in the way early civilizations tried to map the heavens. They didn't know its endless digits, but they felt its power. They knew that in the circle was something eternal. Today, we use pi to build bridges, fly planes, and design computers. And yet, beyond all the science, pi remains a cosmic riddle, a number that belongs both to human mathematics and to the fabric of reality itself. So, the next time you see a circle, whether it is a planet, a droplet, or even the swirl of cream in your coffee, remember, you are looking at the mark of pi, a symbol of infinity hiding in plain sight, a whisper from the cosmos telling us that creation is both precise and mysterious, measurable and infinite. Pi is not just 3.14, it is the heartbeat of circles, the endless rhythm of the universe, the hidden code that never stops singing. Fibonacci, the cosmic sequence. The story begins with numbers so small, so simple, that they almost seem unimportant. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. At first glance, they're just counting numbers. But look closely and you'll see a hidden rhythm. Each number is born by adding the 2 before it. And as the sequence grows, it begins to reveal something extraordinary. A secret pattern that builds the very shapes of life and the universe. This is the Fibonacci sequence. A code so elegant, so natural, that it seems less like a human invention and more like a law whispered into reality itself. Take a seashell. Its spiral is not random. It follows the Fibonacci numbers as it grows, each chamber perfectly scaled to the one before. Look at the petals of a flower. Many of them arrange themselves in Fibonacci counts: 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. A sunflower doesn't just scatter its seeds. It organizes them in spirals, often 34 turning one way and 55 turning the other, both Fibonacci numbers. This sequence allows the seeds to be packed tightly, wasting no space, achieving perfect efficiency. But Fibonacci isn't limited to flowers and shells. It is carved into hurricanes as they swirl across oceans. It shapes the spiral of galaxies that stretch across millions of light years. It is written into the twisting double helix of DNA, the very blueprint of life. Even the human body carries it. Your bones, your proportions, even the structure of your hands and face echo Fibonacci's silent mathematics. What makes this sequence even more mysterious is how it connects to the golden ratio. As the numbers grow larger, the ratio between them approaches 1.618, the same divine proportion we saw in galaxies and art, in beauty and growth. It is as though Fibonacci is the ladder and the golden ratio is the destination. Together, they create harmony, balance, and efficiency in everything from tiny atoms to vast galaxies. But why? Why would the universe prefer this sequence? Why would storms, shells, and stars all obey the same silent rule? Scientists say it is nature's way of being efficient, a shortcut for growth, a design that minimizes waste. But perhaps it is more than that. Perhaps Fibonacci is not just a tool for survival, but a universal language, a rhythm that ties everything together, from the smallest seed to the largest galaxy. Some ancient cultures believed this sequence was sacred. They saw it in pine cones, in art, in music, even in the way planets moved across the sky. To them, Fibonacci was not just numbers, but proof of an order behind creation, a signature of the divine. And even today, in our modern world of computers and rockets, Fibonacci continues to guide us. The sequence appears in stock markets, in the branching of networks, even in the way we process sound and sight. It is as if our universe cannot escape this pattern, no matter how complex things become. Think about that. From the spiral of a snail's shell, to the spinning arms of the Milky Way, to the code inside your cells, the same sequence repeats. It is as if the cosmos itself counts as it creates, whispering 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, endlessly. Without fail? The Fibonacci sequence is more than numbers. It is the heartbeat of growth, the silent architect of life, the spiral of existence written in mathematical poetry. And perhaps it is one of the clearest signs that our universe is not random, but deeply, beautifully, and mysteriously ordered. The music of the cosmos. We often think of space as silent, a dark, empty void where nothing can be heard. But silence is only an illusion. The truth is far stranger and far more beautiful. Everything in the universe vibrates. And where there is vibration, there is music. From the tiniest atom to the largest star, the universe hums with frequencies. These vibrations are too high or too low for our ears to detect, but they are there, constant, unbroken, eternal. It is as if reality itself is a grand instrument, strumming invisible strings. Physicists discovered something extraordinary. The tiniest particles that make up our universe, the quarks and electrons, may not just be points of matter, but vibrating strings of energy. And the way these strings vibrate decides what they are. One vibration creates a particle of light. Another vibration creates a particle of matter. Just like the notes of a violin, changing the frequency changes the song. If this is true, then the entire universe is nothing but music playing itself into existence. But this hidden symphony doesn't stop at the quantum scale. Planets orbit their stars in rhythmic dances, creating gravitational harmonies. The moon pulls on the Earth's oceans like the slow beat of a cosmic drum. Jupiter's moons move in a perfect mathematical rhythm, tugging each other into a celestial dance that astronomers call resonance. It is music written not in sound, but in motion. And stars, even stars, have songs. Their gases vibrate and ripple, creating deep, low-frequency sounds that resonate across space. We cannot hear them with our ears, but scientists have recorded these stellar songs and converted them into audible tones. What they found is haunting. Stars sing in long, deep hums like choirs echoing through eternity. The sun itself has a voice, a constant vibration that never stops, like the heartbeat of our solar system. Galaxies, too, seem to carry rhythm. Their spiral arms turn like vast records spinning in space. Black holes, once thought to be silent destroyers, actually create sound waves as they feed, vibrations so deep that they resonate for millions of light years. The largest sound ever detected came from a black hole, a note 57 octaves below middle C. A sound far deeper than anything we can imagine, echoing through the fabric of the universe. Even here on Earth, the music of the cosmos touches us. Every atom in your body vibrates with its own unique frequency. Your heartbeat, your breath, your very brainwaves, all of them are part of this universal orchestra. Some ancient cultures believed that creation itself began with sound, a single note, a word, or a vibration that brought everything into existence. Modern science, in its own way, whispers the same idea. Vibration is at the root of all reality. And perhaps this is why music moves us so deeply. When we listen to a song, when we feel rhythm, harmony, and melody, we are not just hearing human creation. We are resonating with something much older, much larger. We are echoing the hidden music of the cosmos itself. So, the next time you sit in silence, remember, you are not truly in silence. You are surrounded by waves, frequencies, and vibrations. The stars above you are singing. The atoms within you are humming. The galaxies are turning in rhythm. The universe is not empty. It is alive with sound. And maybe, just maybe, the cosmos is not just a place we live in. It is a song we are part of. A song that has been playing since the beginning of time and will continue long after we are gone. Chaos has a pattern too. When we look at the universe, some things appear wild, unpredictable, and out of control. A lightning bolt splits across the sky with no warning. A storm twists into violent winds and rain. A river bends in endless curves, shaping the land in ways that seem random. To the human eye, it looks like pure chaos. But the universe is clever. What appears as disorder is often just a deeper order, hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered. In the 20th century, scientists began to notice something strange. Many chaotic shapes and processes could be described by the same kind of mathematics. These shapes are called fractals, patterns that repeat themselves at every scale, no matter how closely you zoom in. The jagged outline of a coastline, the branches of a tree, the veins of a leaf, the path of a river, all of them follow the logic of fractals. The more you look, the more you realize. Nature does not waste randomness, it recycles it into patterns. Take lightning, for example. When it strikes, it seems like a random path through the sky. But slow it down, and you'll see it branch like a tree, splitting and repeating over and over, just like veins in your body or roots in the soil. The same branching pattern appears in clouds, mountains, and even the neurons of your brain. What we call chaos is actually geometry, the universe sketching its artwork in repeating strokes. Fractals go even deeper than shapes. They describe the behavior of things that seem impossible to predict, like weather. The swirling of a hurricane, the spiral of a tornado, or the way smoke rises from a flame. All these chaotic systems can be mapped with fractal equations. This doesn't make them less wild, but it shows they aren't without rules. Chaos has structure. Storms dance to hidden rhythms. Lightning doesn't wander. It follows the universe's secret script. Even galaxies, those vast islands of stars, carry fractal-like distributions. Zoom out and the universe clusters galaxies into webs and filaments that look eerily like the neural networks inside your brain. The largest scales of the cosmos mirror the smallest structures of life. It is as if the same hidden design echoes across every level of existence. The most astonishing part? Chaos isn't the enemy of order. It creates it. The randomness of mutation builds the diversity of life. The turbulence of rivers carves valleys and nourishes ecosystems. The unpredictability of weather keeps our planet balanced, distributing heat, water, and energy. Without chaos, the universe would be static, lifeless, and dull. With chaos, it becomes alive, changing, and endlessly creative. Fractals also reveal something profound about infinity. Zoom in on a fractal, and the pattern never ends. Each detail gives way to more details, repeating forever. It's like the universe is whispering a truth. There is always more hidden beneath what you see. What looks like disorder is a doorway to infinite complexity. Perhaps that is the real secret of chaos. It teaches us that unpredictability is not meaningless. What feels random in your life? Sudden changes, unexpected events, moments that seem out of control may be part of a larger design. Just like storms and rivers, your own chaos might be shaping you into something more beautiful than you can see right now. So when you hear thunder, or trace the jagged edge of a mountain, or watch waves crash in patterns that never repeat, remember this: chaos is not the absence of order. It is order in disguise. The universe doesn't waste even its storms. It writes them into the grand pattern of existence, light as a code. Since the beginning of time, light has been the first storyteller of the universe. Long before humans could write books or build telescopes, light was already traveling across space, carrying messages written in its waves. Every sunrise, every star in the night sky, every glowing galaxy is more than beauty. It is information. Light is not just brightness, it is a cosmic code. Think about it. The light you see tonight from a star may have left its surface thousands, even millions of years ago. By the time it reaches your eyes, that star may no longer even exist. Yet its story survived, carried faithfully across the vacuum of space. Light is a time machine. It lets us look into the past, not just years or centuries, but across cosmic ages. Astronomers use this gift of light as their language of discovery. By splitting starlight into a rainbow, a technique called spectroscopy, they can read secrets hidden inside it. Within those colorful bands lie fingerprints, patterns that reveal what elements the star is made of, how hot it burns, how fast it moves, and even whether it has planets circling around it. From across unimaginable distances, light whispers, "This star contains hydrogen, this one helium, this one iron, this one oxygen, the same oxygen you breathe." It doesn't stop with stars. Light also reveals the size and shape of galaxies, the birth of new suns, and the violent deaths of old ones. It even carries the faint glow left over from the beginning of everything. The cosmic microwave background, a thin fog of light still traveling from the Big Bang itself. It is as though the universe left us a note from its childhood, written in radiation, waiting billions of years for us to finally learn how to read it. But light is more than history. It is also connection. The reason you can read these words, see colors, or recognize the face of someone you love is because light delivers information every second. It bounces off surfaces, carries patterns into your eyes, and your brain translates them into meaning. In a way, you don't see objects. You see the light they reflect. You don't truly see the universe. You see its messages written in photons. Even at the smallest scale, light acts like a code. In the strange world of quantum physics, photons can behave like particles or waves, carrying information in ways that could one day power unbreakable quantum computers and communication systems. The universe is still teaching us new ways to read its light. And what about life itself? Plants survive by decoding sunlight, turning its energy into food through photosynthesis. Without light, there would be no forests, no oceans filled with life, no human beings to wonder about the stars. In a real sense, we are made of sunlight, stored in the chemistry of food, carried in our very cells. Light is not just a messenger from the cosmos. It is the fuel that makes existence possible. Perhaps the most profound truth is this: everything we know about the universe comes from light. Without it, space would be silent and dark, hiding its secrets forever. With it, we have glimpsed the birth of galaxies, measured the age of the cosmos, and discovered that we are made of the same elements forged in stars. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember this: those tiny points of light are not just distant suns. They are messages, codes written across time and space, a language so ancient and universal that it has been speaking since the beginning. Light is the universe's messenger, and if you know how to read it, it tells the story of everything. The DNA of the universe. Inside every living being, from the smallest bacterium to the tallest tree to you, lies a hidden script. It is written not with ink or sound, but with molecules. We call it DNA, a sequence of 4 simple letters, A, T, C, and G. With only these 4 symbols, arranged and rearranged, nature has written the entire library of life. Every heartbeat, every thought, every breath you take, every leaf on every tree, all of it exists because of this code. At first glance, DNA seems like a human problem, something belonging to biology alone. But when you look closer, it begins to resemble something far greater, a universal principle. DNA is not just the code of life. It is an echo of the universe's deeper love for patterns, instructions, and repetition. Just as the stars follow equations and galaxies grow in spirals, life follows the programming of DNA. It is as though the universe, when it decided to create living beings, chose to write in its own secret alphabet. What makes DNA astonishing is not just its complexity, but its elegance. Imagine a single fertilized egg, smaller than a grain of sand. Inside it, the entire story of a human is stored. That tiny cell knows how to build bones, how to carve out a heart, how to wire a brain with billions of neurons, and even how to record emotions, instincts, and survival strategies. All of that is packed into spiraling strands, coiled neatly inside nearly every cell of your body. If you stretched out the DNA in just one of your cells, it would be 2 meters long, and yet it folds, twists, and fits inside with perfect efficiency, as though designed with infinite intelligence. The more scientists study DNA, the more they realize how much it resembles a language. Letters form words, words form sentences, sentences create meaning. In the same way, DNA letters form genes, genes build proteins, and proteins create life. Change a single letter and you change the message. Sometimes it causes illness, sometimes it sparks evolution. Just as changing one word can shift the meaning of a story, changing one sequence can alter the destiny of a species. But here is where the mystery deepens. DNA does not act alone. It interacts with its environment, with energy, with light itself. Sunlight triggers DNA to build food in plants. Temperatures and environments push DNA to adapt, to evolve, to rewrite itself over generations. It's almost as if DNA is alive not just as a molecule, but as a storyteller, constantly editing its script to keep the play of life going. And then comes the most breathtaking realization. The elements that make up DNA, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and phosphorus, were forged in the hearts of stars. Long ago, giant suns burned their fuel, exploded, and scattered their ashes into space. Out of that cosmic dust, Earth was formed. Out of that dust, DNA assembled itself. Which means this: the code inside you is not just the code of Earth, it is the code of the cosmos. You are literally written in stardust. Think about it. The universe created galaxies, stars, and planets using mathematics, ratios, and physical laws. Then, when it came to life, it used DNA, a code written in chemistry. Both are instructions, both are languages, both are ways the cosmos organizes chaos into creation. The DNA inside your cells and the equations inside a galaxy are not opposites. They are chapters of the same universal story. And here's the most humbling part. The code inside you is not unique to you. It is shared. You share a portion of your DNA with bananas, with birds, with whales, with trees, with every living being that breathes. This is not just coincidence. It is connection. It is proof that all life on Earth, no matter how different it looks, comes from the same original spark. It is as if the universe wrote one story and then let it unfold into a million variations. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, understand this: you are not random. You are not an accident. You are the product of a code so ancient it was written in the stars before Earth was even born. You are a message carried across time, inscribed into every cell of your body. The DNA of the universe is not just inside you, it is you. Time, the rhythm of reality. Time is the one thing we cannot see, cannot touch, and yet cannot escape. It is the silent companion that walks with us from the moment we are born until the moment we take our last breath. We cannot hold it in our hands, but it holds everything in its grasp. Planets, stars, galaxies, even you, all are caught in its flow. Time is the invisible river in which the universe swims. At first glance, time feels simple. A clock ticks, a day passes, a year ends. But beneath that surface lies a mystery so deep that even the greatest minds struggle to define it. What is time? Is it a measurement? Is it an illusion? Or is it a cosmic rhythm, a law written into the fabric of reality itself? Look around you. The earth spins on its axis, giving us day and night. The moon orbits the earth, giving us tides and months. The earth orbits the sun, giving us years and seasons. Time is not just a human invention. It is built into the structure of the cosmos. The planets dance in circles, the stars are born, live and die in cycles, and galaxies spin like giant clocks. Everything, from the smallest heartbeat to the life of a star, ticks to the rhythm of time. But time is not the same everywhere. Einstein showed us that time bends and stretches. Near massive objects like black holes, time slows down. Out in deep space, away from gravity, it runs faster. Astronauts who travel at incredible speeds experience time differently than those of us on Earth. This means that time is not fixed. It is elastic, flowing differently depending on where you are in the universe. Imagine that. Two people could live the same number of minutes on a clock, but experience them differently in reality. And yet, for us, time feels steady, relentless. Seconds become minutes, minutes become hours, and before we realize it, days have become decades. You look in the mirror and notice lines on your face that were not there before. You remember moments from childhood as though they were yesterday, only to realize they are decades old. This is the quiet power of time. It never stops. It never waits. It moves forward with a patience that humbles us all. But there is beauty in this rhythm. Time gives meaning to change. Without time, there would be no growth, no seasons, no stories. Flowers bloom and fade, rivers carve valleys, civilizations rise and fall, all because time is always moving. Even your own life is a story written in chapters of time. Childhood, youth, adulthood, and old age, each one a rhythm in the greater symphony of existence. Scientists have begun to see time not just as a flow, but as part of the fabric of the universe itself, woven into space to form what we call space-time. This fabric bends, curves, and shapes the paths of planets and light. Without time, gravity itself would not exist, and the universe would not hold together. Time is not just a rhythm. It is the very thread stitching reality into existence. But here is the greatest mystery. Does time have a beginning, and will it have an end? The universe began nearly 14 billion years ago with the Big Bang. That moment was not just the birth of matter and energy. It was the birth of time itself. Before that, there was no before, and one day, when the stars burn out and galaxies fade, time may stretch into silence, a rhythm without a drum. Yet here you are, alive in this very moment, moving with the cosmic rhythm. Every heartbeat is a drumbeat of time. Every breath is a note in the melody. And just as the universe keeps its rhythm through spinning planets and pulsing stars, you keep yours through your life, your choices, and your story. Time is more than a measurement. It is the universe's way of making sure everything does not happen all at once. It is the rhythm of reality itself. You are part of the code. When you look up at the night sky, it's easy to feel small. Billions of stars scatter across the darkness. Galaxies spin endlessly, and the universe stretches farther than our minds can imagine. But what if I told you that you are not small at all? What if I told you that you are not separate from this vast cosmos, but an inseparable part of it, written into its very code? Every atom in your body has a story older than Earth itself. The carbon in your muscles, the oxygen in your lungs, the iron flowing in your blood, all of it was forged in the fiery hearts of ancient stars. Billions of years ago, those stars lived, burned, and died in magnificent explosions called supernovae. In their death, they scattered their elements across the universe, seeding the clouds of dust and gas that would one day form new stars, new planets, and eventually, you. You are literally made of stardust. Think about this. When you breathe, the air filling your lungs is not just oxygen. It carries molecules that once swirled through ancient forests, drifted in dinosaur skies, and even traveled across the breaths of kings, prophets, and forgotten civilizations. The water you drink may have quenched the thirst of a mammoth thousands of years ago, or fallen as rain on the first fields of humanity. You are not only connected to the stars, you are connected to all of life, past and present, through this endless recycling of the universe's code. Your DNA is another chapter in the story. 4 simple letters, A, T, C, and G, repeated in endless combinations, carry the instructions that shaped you. But those same instructions echo across all life. The code that grows the wings of a butterfly, the roots of a tree, and the beating heart of a whale is the same code that beats inside you. This means you share not just the stardust of the universe, but the living code of Earth itself. You are family with every leaf, every bird, every creature that has ever walked, swum, or flown on this planet. And yet, your story is not just written for you to exist. The universe does not waste. Every star, every planet, every life form plays a role in the great unfolding of reality. You too are here with purpose, even if you do not always see it. The way you think, the way you create, the way you love. These are not accidents. They are the universe expressing itself through you. You are not outside the cosmos looking in. You are the cosmos looking at itself. When you laugh, it is the atoms of stars vibrating with joy. When you cry, it is the same stardust releasing its sorrow. When you wonder about the universe, it is the universe awakening to its own mystery through your mind. In this way, you are both a chapter and a reader of the code, written and writer at the same time. But here lies the most beautiful truth. If you are part of the code, then you are also part of its rhythm. Your heartbeat keeps time with the turning of planets. Your breath falls in rhythm with the tides of the sea, pulled by the moon. Even your thoughts, firing like sparks in your brain, mirror the electrical storms that ripple through galaxies. You are not an outsider in the universe. You are one verse in its endless song. So the next time you feel small, remember, the stars are not above you. They are within you. The universe is not out there. It is here, speaking through your existence. You are the secret code made flesh, a living story written across time and space. You are not just in the universe is in you. And so the code of the cosmos is not hidden in faraway galaxies or locked in ancient secrets. It is alive within you. Every star, every pattern, every number has been whispering the same truth all along. You are not a spectator of the universe. You are its living expression. The universe is not finished. It continues to write itself moment by moment, heartbeat by heartbeat. and through you, it is still unfolding its story. So when you look at the stars tonight, don't just wonder what they mean. Remember, they are part of you and you are part of them. The secret code of the cosmos is not something you have to find. It is something you already are. Now, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching this video from? And what time is it in your city or country right now? Tell me in the comments, because in the end, we are all verses of the same story, written across different corners of the universe.